There's nothing more frustrating than having a dog that knows everything, but listens to nothing. My Belgian Malinois could sit, stay, heel, down, place, you name it. He passed drills. He crushed reps. He looked amazing to anyone watching. But the second something real happened, he didn't listen. Not when it mattered. Not when it counted. And I couldn't figure out why. I thought I was the problem. I thought maybe I wasn't reinforcing commands enough, or I wasn't showing enough dominance, or maybe he just wasn't wired to obey. But the truth? It had nothing to do with the commands. What I learned the hard way, and what finally fixed everything, is something most Malinois owners never hear. Bullseye emoji. If you've ever asked, why won't my dog listen when I need him to? This is your answer. And if you're serious about fixing the relationship, subscribe to the Pet Perspective right now. Because this isn't about drills. This is about connection. Let me take you back to when things started falling apart. I was working with my dog daily, sessions every morning and evening. I used rewards. I used leash pressure. I used engagement games. But outside of training, he was blowing me off. On walks, he'd pull. In the house, he'd ignore. When I called him away from a distraction, nothing. And I kept thinking, he knows this. Why isn't he doing it? Still watching? Comment below, I know this feeling. Because the answer might surprise you. The problem wasn't the training. The problem was the relationship underneath it. Here's what I discovered. A Malinois doesn't listen because of what you taught them. They listen because of who you are in their eyes. Read that again. This breed doesn't follow authority. They follow stability. They obey trust. And in my case, I had accidentally trained a dog who could perform under control, but not connect under pressure. Because I was doing what most people do. I focused on precision, not presence. I gave commands with technical accuracy, but not emotional leadership. And my Malinois knew it. That's when I stopped everything. Not forever. Just long enough to ask the real question. What kind of presence am I creating for him to follow? That single question changed my approach forever. Push pin emoji. Hit like if you've ever realized it's not about louder commands, it's about quieter clarity. So what finally fixed it? It wasn't better drills. It wasn't new tools. It wasn't food or tug or higher drive. It was rhythm. It was regulation. It was consistency, not in training, but in who I was. I stopped flooding his world with cues. I stopped over-communicating. I stopped begging for focus. And I started building calm repetition. Same walk. Same tone. Same expectation. No corrections from frustration. No commands I couldn't follow through on. Just calm, patterned presence, again and again. At first, nothing changed. But then one day, during a walk, a dog lunged across the street. My Malinois looked at me, and chose me. No cue. No command. Just eye contact. He placed himself at my side. That was the moment. Not because he obeyed but because he trusted. And from that point on, things got easier. Bullseye emoji. Subscribe now if you're finally realizing your dog doesn't need more commands, they need more clarity. More calm. More leadership. More reason to choose you over the world. Now let me give you the practical breakdown. Stop saying their name 10 times. Say it once. Then pause. Let them respond to your calm, not your panic. Start using fewer commands, more presence. If they're spinning, slow your breathing. If they're ignoring, wait in silence. Use structured patterns. Predictability builds trust. Trust builds responsiveness. Reward calm decision-making more than flashy obedience. The Malinois that offers a down on their own is telling you, I trust this space. And most importantly, lead with energy they want to follow. Not volume. Not tension. Not pressure. Bullseye emoji. Comment below, it wasn't the command, it was me. That's the shift most people miss. Today, my Malinois doesn't just listen, he checks in without being asked. He holds engagement in chaos. He follows not because he's trained to, but because he sees me as the clearest, calmest thing in the room. That's what finally fixed it. If your dog isn't listening, don't reach for the remote collar or the treats just yet. Reach for presence. Reach for structure. Reach for rhythm. Because when a Malinois chooses to listen without being told, that's not obedience. That's respect. Bullseye emoji. Subscribe to the Pet Perspective if you're ready to lead without yelling, and connect without begging. Because the most powerful command your dog will ever hear is the one you give with silence.